Today, I want to talk about something specific pertaining to cars and the car business, and then go into a more general point of view about that same subject. First things first, followers of the channel may notice that I've had this backdrop for the last few videos. There's a practical reason for that. It's hot, let's try that again. Devilishly hot. There we go. Toy boat. It's ridiculously hot here. I'm in Oregon, and it was 104 degrees Fahrenheit here yesterday. For those of you in the rest of the world, that's 3940 Celsius. So, yeah, pretty toasty. And Oregon did not used to be this hot. It is now, more frequently. Occasionally, it would get like this, once in a while, but not very often, which is why most of the older housing in New Orleans, geez, blast from the past there. Most of the older housing in Salem, Oregon, where I live, most of that housing does not have central air conditioning because they didn't need it. There were, like I said, a couple of hot days, but you could get through them, and it was always cool at night, and everything was great. It was copacetic, great weather. And then, of course, the rainy season would come in the fall, and that was not great weather, but it certainly wasn't anything that required air conditioning. It was cold, wet sheets, and dark rain. So, no central air, so you're left with window units. And the window units in our apartment are in the bedrooms. And so I can't go out in the main room because it's just blazing hot out there. It's really pretty swampy. And so I'm relegated here to one of the bedrooms. So in case you're curious, that's why you're seeing this backdrop more often. And hey, while we're on housekeeping items, I'd love to have some more subscribers. Yeah, that would be great. Some more subscribers. If you like what you see here on this channel, why don't you subscribe and give us a like? Why not? It's free. Very little effort. Give it a go. Okay, on to the main event. Ford has been teasing this, what they call a Model T event for weeks now. And apparently, from the leaks that are in the industry, it's going to be a $30,000 EV pickup truck, which would be at a price point substantially lower than the average new vehicle goes across the curb for right now. And what is that price? Well, it's $48,000. That is the average price of a new vehicle, car, truck, SUV, altogether. That's the average price of a new vehicle right now in the United States in 2025. That's not the average price of a pickup truck and an SUV. They're more expensive. I mean, we have $100,000 USVs, or $100,000 SUVs, and $100,000 pickup trucks now being sold, and people are buying them. And they're not, as you might imagine, used for work. They're not driving their SUV to, the logging company they own out in the woods. And they're not driving their pickup truck to a construction site. No, they're driving those vehicles to where they work in an office as an accounts payable clerk, or, you know, maybe they're a waiter at Red Lobster. I don't know. They're not being used for work. They're luxury vehicles, and they're used as commuter vehicles and family vehicles. So the point is that $30,000, that is one heck of an appealing price point. And if this is true, Ford knows this. I mean, they're not stupid over there. They're not dumb, believe me. And so their intent is to apparently roll out at least several vehicles at low price points on an EV platform. This is the scuttlebutt. This is the chatter. Are they going to do well with this? I don't know. Some of you that follow the industry, you may remember a couple of years ago, Jim Farley, the head of Ford, he used the exact same phrase, a Model T moment. He used the exact same phrase when they rolled out the F-150, the EV F-150. And it was supposed to incredible box office numbers, incredible sales numbers. And it didn't. It did okay. It did okay. I mean, basically, it was an F-150 converted to electric. It looked just like a regular F-150, which is a handsome vehicle. But you know, it's quite expensive, very expensive. And they've done all right with it, but that Model T moment fizzled. Now we have another, apparently, Model T moment. Is this going to be any bigger, have longer lasting impact? I think it will. I don't know if it's going to have the gargantuan impact that Ford would like it to have, but $30,000, that's an attractive price point in today's market. This segues very nicely into the next part of this video. And the next part of this video is just a general statement about that market and the affordability thereof. In a market where you have people making $1,000 a month car payments, and that's, you know, like on a 72-month or an 84-month loan, jeez Louise. If any company, Ford or anyone else, could produce a vehicle that was safe and reliable, doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be luxurious, it doesn't have to have a lot of electronic technology in it, excuse me, doesn't need any of that. It needs to be safe, it needs to be reliable, high quality, and if they could get somewhere near a $20,000 price point, as they did not so long ago with they being Ford. If you remember when the Maverick rolled out, it had a starting price of right under 20. It was $19,987 or something. And that was for the hybrid engine version, which got 40 miles to the gallon in the city. And it was nicely equipped. I mean, not showy, not loaded with gizmos, but more than enough for most people. And what happened? Well, what happened was they all sold out immediately, and there was immediately like a 18-month wait for the next ones. Now, the Maverick is not under $20,000 anymore. It's around, well, where this one's coming in at 30. And it's not an EV. It comes in either hybrid or ICE guys, ICE formula, internal combustion engine. I wasn't saying guys like guys and gals. So those are the two options. But I'm telling you, if any car maker, I don't care who it is, could bring out any vehicle, and I don't care what it is, a sedan, a coupe, a station wagon, we haven't seen those for a long time, an SUV, a pickup truck. It doesn't matter. If they could bring out anything, and any type of motivation, any type of power plant, whether it was internal combustion, whether it was EV, whether it was hybrid, if they could get near that magic number, not it doesn't have to, just near it, 23,000, man, they would have a massive bona fide hit for years. Why? Because there are a lot of people that just need a dependable, no-frills car. And when I say car, I mean in the general sense, whether it's a truck or a SUV. They just need a no-frills car that's dependable, good quality, to meet their transportation needs. That's what they need. That's what they need. That's what they want. And I mean, I think a lot of people, they wouldn't even care if it still had, if it had roll-up windows, crank windows. That would sell a lot of vehicles. Now, the car business being what it is, it's really tough to hold your margins on a vehicle that low priced. It's super tough. I mean, there's just not a lot of wiggle room in there. What the manufacturer has in it and sends it to the dealer for. And we're not talking about the dealers making money. That's a different construct. We're talking about the manufacturers making money. So, there's a lot of room to play with in a $100,000 SUV. From the manufacturer to the dealer, there might be, $17,000. But when companies like General Motors and Ford, when they were selling very small cars like Ford with the Fiesta and Chevrolet with the Sonic, I mean, you're looking, from the manufacturer to the dealer, I mean, you're looking at probably $700-800 max, and that's with the holdback and everything. So they're not making too much money on that sale. The manufacturer, that is. Of course, the dealer's going to do what the dealers always do. They're going to get their money one way or another. Whether it's through financing, whether it's through subterfuge, whatever. I mean, all the things dealers are good at, stealing your trade, whatever. But I'm talking about the manufacturer. None of us are communists here. They're not either. They have to make money. Now, again, I realize that's a tough price point, somewhere around 20. And it's probably even tougher now that we have, the beautiful, remember, beautiful, let me repeat it again, beautiful tariffs. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful word. And we have beautiful tariffs now, and that is really playing havoc with the general ledger of all the car companies, and particularly the domestics. I mean, they're all scheduling a huge loss in their profit and loss this year. So yeah, that's tough. That's going to be tough. But whatever, the lower it is, the more they're going to sell. And I know I know the first response is, well, we don't think customers are going to buy anything, for instance, as you say, with crank windows. And they're not going to buy that in 2025. I think they would. I think they would. If it had a 6-speed automatic and air conditioning, and it ran well and didn't need a lot of maintenance, I think a lot of people would sign up for that. And of course, there's an option list. You could bump yourself up if you need those power windows, right? So anyway, that's my take. That's my take on this. I think the current state where you've got this 48,000 average sale price, retail price, that's madness. How many people can afford that? And even if they sign up for it, how can many can actually afford it? I mean, then they put themselves living paycheck to paycheck. They've got this huge car payment, they have this huge rent or mortgage payment, and all the other things of daily life that require so much money in the United States. I mean, they may get approved for the loan or the lease and sign up for it, but that doesn't mean they can really afford it. That doesn't mean that it's really the best use of whatever after-tax income they have. It really isn't. I mean, I know they do it anyway. Millions of them do. But there are millions of other people, if they were offered a better alternative, an affordable alternative, they would jump all over it instead of buying a used car. And no, I'm not talking about a new car like a new Yugo, if you remember that. That was a new car, but it was crap. I'm talking about a good car, maybe even a great car. Build the quality in, build the reliability in, go easy, skimp even on all the options, and hey, let's see how many you can roll across the curb. Let's just see.